a fly ball out towards center field. This one's going back, and this one is gone! Taylor gets this one out towards center field to the short porch, and it's a grand slam! It's a floater, out to short, and it's booted off the shortstop's glove! Just like they drew it from Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! Two-run shot to right.
There we go. We fixed it. All right, let's restart that again. We welcome you to the Trenton Thunder Ballpark for coverage in the BCSL between the Maple Shade Wildcats and the Holy Cross Lancers. Maple Shade last year was 9-14, and, you know, they've had a pretty successful tenure under head coach Michael Webb. They won 21 games in 2021, but have taken a little bit of a step back in recent years. However, they're looking to get back on the right path after a 1-3 start to their season. They played Burlington Township over the week and over on Tuesday. And what was the final score of that game? 22-10. Now, that was a game that they lost, but they still put up 10 runs versus a very good BT team. But they started out 0-2, just like Holy Cross did. 3-2 loss to Bordentown that we were at, and a 10-3 loss to Cinnaminson. Their one win this year has been versus Pennsauken. And then for Holy Cross on the right side, you've got a 2-4 record this year. Got yourself with a opening loss to Delran and another loss to Florence. And it's not easy to say that Holy Cross did not have the start of the season that they wanted. They went 16-8 last year, made it to the South Jersey non-public B semifinals, losing to Bishop Eustace in a very valiant effort, but being outscored by a total of 35-0 at the first two games of your season is not how you want to start. But they've rebounded. They picked up 2 wins over George of Pennsylvania and Salem and the Rams. They lost to Bordentown, but now both teams are looking to reset. These guys are playing in a big minor league stadium. The lights are on, the lights are flashing, and it's going to be a fun night. Holy Cross being ready to take the field in front of us. We'll keep it short. The starter for Maple Shade today is going to be Cole Mulcahy. Meanwhile, the left-hander, uncommitted Luke Rogers, who's going to be one of our top underrated left-handed arms for South Jersey this year. We're going to get to see him under the lights versus the Wildcats. Starters are being introduced for Holy Cross, and we'll be right back in just a moment here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. And let's play ball in Trenton. It's the Maple Shade Wildcats coming in at 1-3 this season. Holy Cross 2-4. Holy Cross at a 16-8 record last year. It was their best since 2018. It was the first time since the tenure of Stephen Paoli that they had their first over 500 season. We're joining you from the Trenton Thunder Ballpark tonight. Vincent Vogt is our producer. Ben Nicholas is on the, I guess you could say, dynamic cam, and I'm up here in the press box here at Trenton Thunder Ballpark. We've got pictures of famous Yankee legends who passed through Trenton over the year behind us. Francisco Cervelli, Brett Gardner, Hideki Matsui, Derek Jeter, Ken Macha, the manager, and Bernie Williams, of course. This place has produced some of the best ball players, not just in New Jersey, not just in New York, but all throughout the U.S., as this has been a common home for high school sports throughout the years. Cherokee and Bridgewater Ayrton played here last year, and now Holy Cross is going to get ready to take the field. With that being said, Maple Shade will introduce their starting lineup under head coach and sixth-year head coach Michael Webb. Cole Mulcahy is the pitcher. He bats leadoff. Preston Carey is the second baseman, batting second. No double Blums today. It's just Chase Blum batting third at the DH spot. Nick Stanton is the first baseman batting fourth. Aaron Wells is the catcher batting fifth. PVI transfer Alex Morales is at third. Connor Stratton, who was the starter when we visited Maple Shade versus Bordentown back on March 25th, he was the starter. Now he bats seventh in right field. RJ Bozarth is the shortstop batting eighth. Braden Donia is the left fielder batting ninth, and then defense only in center field, Luke Voiro. So Luke Rogers, left-hander, is the starter for Holy Cross tonight, as we're going to get this party started here versus the Wildcats. Holy Cross is, as we said, coming in 2-4. Both teams looking for a little bit of a reset going into this Trenton Thunder game. It's still early in the season, but a lot of eyes are on them. This is one of just a few games throughout the entire state that are being played this afternoon/evening. So it's not surprising that a lot of people are going to want to see the left-hander, who is uncommitted, as we said, 5'11", 155 pounds as a junior. Posted a 5.83 ERA in 6 innings this year. That's up from a 1.64 that he had all the way back in 2024. But they'll be getting just a couple of men ready here for this Monday night matchup. So there's some stats for Luke Rogers, the left-hander. 1.64 ERA on 2024's campaign. 25 2/3 innings. As Cole Mulcahy will lead it off here at the Trenton Thunder Ballpark. First pitch is a strike called, and we're underway. 0-1 to Mulcahy. Mulcahy, Preston Carey, and Chase Blum, first three for Maple Shade here in the top of the first. Led by sixth-year head coach Michael Webb. Didn't catch that time, 1-1. Maple Shade, as the 15 seed in the South Jersey Group 1 bracket last year, lost valiantly to Woodstown 3-1. That one's down. 2 balls, 1 strike. Last year, they did not win more than 2 consecutive games, but they did win 4 of 5 from May 3rd to May 16th of last year. Finished third in a crowded BCSL Patriot division behind co-champs Pennsauken and Bordentown. Pennsauken winning their first division title since 2015. 3 balls, 1 strike. Mulcahy digging in versus Rogers. Here's the 3-1. Got a piece of that. It's a fair ball. Up to third. Throw across to Diamond is in time. And that's out number 1. So that'll bring up Preston Carey.
Now batting number 10, Preston Carey.
Just a quick meeting with the umpires here. Not sure what that was all about, but we'll come back to you here with Preston Carey. So a 5-3 ground out on the the first at-bat of the game, worked the count well. Michael Webb is coming out here. Not sure if he's discussing possibly whether the runner was safe or out or not, but that ball did come off the bat a little bit oddly, so I'm not sure what the discussion is, but he put up his hands in a little bit of, let's just say, distaste, and Webb will go back to third base. Here's Preston Carey. The senior infielder taking the second base spot today. First pitch down, 1-0. Batting .200 on the young campaign, 2 for 10. 1 extra base hit and 2 walks. Batted .182 as a junior. Strike called that time on the breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Floated foul, and that hits off of the box seats that are unoccupied today. That hit off of where, I think that's where Greg Bird's sign used to be. 1 ball, 2 strikes. High and away. No, I mean, I've been to this ballpark several times back when they were an affiliate of the Yankees. They still have all of that Yankee signage. Of course, in the press box here have many famous Yankee alums who have passed through Trenton. Derek Jeter included. Did not get the call that time. It's 3-2. There's Gary Sanchez and Brett Gardner. 2 very famous New York Yankee ball players, although Sanchez, I believe, is currently over in Baltimore with the Orioles. He's had a couple of stops, and that'll be ball 4 for Preston Carey. That'll bring up the DH Chase Blum.
Number 3, Chase Blum.
So a 5-3 ground out and a walk start this Monday night showdown between Maple Shade and Holy Cross. Missed ball 1 there to Blum. A bit foggy in the air, some mist coming around as, of course, we were worried if they were going to even play today. 90 to 95% of games throughout South Jersey got canceled or postponed due to weather. That one hits off the Heineken sign down the first base line. There will be about 5 or 6 kids that will be chasing every foul ball tonight. This is their dream. They don't have to worry about 4,000 or 5,000 fans. They have to worry about like 12 other kids that are going to be chasing foul balls. Now, the problem is you can't keep them. Throw to first is not in time. Couldn't get the call there. But another famous Yankee that passed through Trenton, Aaron Judge. He's doing quite well for New York. But we are here at Trenton Thunder Ballpark, if you're just joining us. Runner on first for Maple Shade in the top of the first. Second time covering Maple Shade this year. Saw them versus Bordentown. That one's going to be a passed ball. It will get away from the catcher, and Carey will get in the second base uncontested. We do have a busy week ahead on DWB, or at least we did until the rain came in. Tomorrow's game with Cumberland and GCIT got pushed to Wednesday. Unfortunately, due to a private commission, we are no longer able to cover that game. So it looks like unless we pick up a game for tomorrow, our next game will be Woodstown and Gloucester on Thursday. 4 o'clock start in the South Jersey Group 1 rematch from last year. Strike called from Rogers, 2-2. Probably the most notable commitment on this Holy Cross team is the shortstop Liam Nessmeyer, committed to Division III Valley Forge for baseball. And right down the pipe, changeup catches his own for strike 3, and Blum is retired. That was strikeout number 100 for Luke Rogers. Press box and the public address folks just made that acknowledgement. Zach Ford coming out to congratulate him. And the infield will come in as well. The dugout pours out to support Rogers here. As with a runner on second and 2 down, there you go. The assistant coach holding up that signage, 100 for Luke Rogers. Congratulations, Luke. Yeah, he was at 99, so how about that? Getting it inside of the professional ballparks here, always a fun delight. And there you go.
Now batting number 25, Nick Stanton.
Just missed it for a second there. There was a sign out there and right on the video board that said, congratulations, Luke Rogers, 100 career strikeouts. Sorry, we didn't pick that one up. 2 outs. And inside. As Blum goes down looking, it'll now be Nick Stanton. Carey on second, advanced on a passed ball. This one's popped up again. Oh, wow. Seems like every place is just a splash zone here tonight. Maybe I might want to move around some of my equipment to make sure we don't get blasted. That happened to John Sterling once. He got hit right in the throat with a ball that he was looking down at his notes on the foul ball. He didn't see where the foul ball went, and then bam, just right there. First 3 for Holy Cross in the bottom of the first will be Jeremiah Clark, Cole Williams, and Luke Rogers. 3-1 now. Rogers, as we said, 6 innings this year for the junior left-hander. A 5.83 ERA, 12 strikeouts. Appeared in a 14-0 loss to Delran on the 25th, a 16-2 win over Salem, where he threw 3 scoreless innings of 1-hit ball. On deck will be the catcher Aaron Wells. He does have his catcher's gear on just in case the inning does end. That's a very typical move for those catchers, and that's going to be ball 4. Second walk issued by Rogers now, and it goes to Stanton. It is funny to see a catcher named Wells in a stadium that used to host the New York Yankees with Austin Wells down there. If you're just joining us, we're here in the press box of the Trenton Thunder Ballpark. No score in the top of the first inning. Maple Shade has reached with 2 walks. Inside, 1-0. Trenton Thunder, the former home of the AA New York Yankees. That's at least what I remembered them from as a kid. You know, going to all these games, let's count as 2-0, with the view of the Delaware River and right, and of course I think that's Route 29 over to the left. But now they are a member of the MLB Draft League, which is a summer league that starts in June and hosts potential MLB draft prospects or college prospects during the summer season. A former Orioles affiliate, the Frederick Keys, also a member of that league. It was started around 2022, and the 2-1 is upstairs to Wells, 3-1. I think a big thing here for Rogers is he's getting ahead in those counts. He's basically throwing 1 of 2 or 3 pitches and, not getting too complex into it. That's the 3-1. Strike call. In the MLB Draft League, Major League Baseball took affiliates from all levels and all kind of situations and put them basically all throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. A former Phillies team, the Williamsport Crosscutters, are in that league. That's going to walk with the bases loaded, or to get the bases loaded, for Alex Morales. Now, Morales homered to tie the game back on Tuesday, March 25th.
Now batting number 40, Alex Morales.
Morales had a 2-run shot to right, went 410 feet. It was the only offense Maple Shade had in their 3-2 loss to Bordentown. But the members of the MLB Draft League, the Frederick Keys, as we mentioned, the Mahoning Valley Scrappers in Niles, Ohio. I mean, minor league teams are basically just all over the place. Why do you think we have the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, for crying out loud? There's the State College Spikes, which were an affiliate of Cleveland over in University Park, PA, where Penn State is. Of course, the Trenton Thunder, West Virginia Black Bears, and the aforementioned Williamsport Crosscutters. I actually think it's a good idea, especially because of how deep the MLB draft is. Trenton Thunder Ballpark, of all MLB Draft League teams, has the highest capacity at 6,440. The State College Stadium holds 6,000, but Trenton and State College are the only two to hold 6,000 plus, and then Trenton has the edge with 6,440. Count is 2 balls, 1 strike to Alex Morales. As a ground out, a walk, a strikeout looking for Rogers' 100th, and this is fouled straight back, and it's 2-2. And another thing that, Christian Colby and Maple Shades catcher Aaron Wells are going to have to keep in mind today is that big backstop. This is not a typical high school field. This is not a high school field, period. They're going to have big backstops. They're going to have a lot more room to work with. It's 407 feet to center field, which is deeper than any ballpark in South Jersey. That one gets away. Here comes the runner Carey on his horse, and it's 1-0 Maple Shade. As he comes in on a wild pitch, and Rogers allows his first. It's 1-0. Moves everybody up 90 feet. Scoring Carey. Moves Stanton to third, Wells to second. That's going to hit him. Yeah, that's never a good feeling, but that will load the bases back up.
Now batting number 23, Connor Stratton.
So here's Connor Stratton. So 3 straight base runners have reached, and now Stratton gets a strike called as he dances out of the box. 0-1. Stratton, the star pitcher for Maple Shade. He's not throwing today, but they'll have Cole Mulcahy. He had a 1.86 ERA, 20 walks, and 62 strikeouts. Did quite well with 8 Ks of his own versus Bordentown. That was a game where both teams combined for 26 strikeouts across a 7-inning matchup. Luke Guire walked it off with a walk-off single to center field to win the game 3-2. Not much warmer today. It's actually colder today than it was at Bordentown. It just feels a little bit better because there's not 40-mile-per-hour winds in our faces. But the count is 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rogers working with the bases loaded. He's already allowed 1 run to pass on a wild pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. There's strikeout number 101, and in a lengthy top of the first, Rogers gets out of the jam with little damage. Holy Cross will now come to bat in the bottom of the first, 1-0.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Welcome back here on the cusp of the Delaware River at Trenton Thunder Ballpark. Holy Cross will lead this one off in the bottom half of the first. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Vincent Vogt and Ben Nicholas, as the Lancers, led by second-year head coach Zach Ford, lead us off. And Jeremiah Claret is the center fielder who takes up and away 1-0. Outside. First three for Holy Cross. Jeremiah Clark, or I keep saying Clark, Jeremiah Claret, Cole Williams, and Luke Rogers. Didn't catch that time, 3-0. For a game between these two teams in the echelons of the BCSL, this game could very well feature a lot of free passes. There's been 3 of them in this game alone, and there's number 4 as Claret reaches. So here's Cole Williams. Let's take a look at that Holy Cross starting lineup brought to you by Harper Driving School. For the Lancers tonight, it will be Jeremiah Claret, the aforementioned center fielder. Cole Williams takes over in right. Luke Rogers, the left-hander, bats second. You've got the Valley Forge commit Liam Nessmeyer at short. Then you've got Patrick Klepp at first, Evan Fox at second, Christian Colby behind the dish, Devin Smith at third, and then Shane Riley, the left fielder, rounding out the order. A cloudy Monday afternoon here from Trenton Thunder Ballpark. Time of game, or I should say the game started at 6 p.m. tonight. That one's going to skip away. Holy Cross will stay lenient and stay at first for Williams. Trenton Thunder was a short tenured affiliate of the Tigers in 1994, with a Red Sox affiliate from 1995 to 2002, and then a Yankees affiliate from 2003 to 2020, when minor league baseball was effectively shut down. If you remember the 2020 season at all, the minor leagues didn't play at all because that didn't make sense. Major League Baseball allowed teams to carry an expanded traveling crew. As that one misses 3-0. Now a quick meeting here between Wells and Mulcahy. But this stadium also played host to the Buffalo Bisons, I almost said the Buffalo Sabres, Buffalo Bisons, the AAA Blue Jays, during the 2021 season. And it was being used as a temporary home there during travel restrictions, especially in Canada during COVID. But yeah, most of the photos you see of certain Yankees here, Francisco Cervelli, Robinson Cano, well, Cano not as much, but Derek Jeter specifically, that's going to be ball 4 again. Back-to-back walks. And now here is the pitcher, Rogers, batting in the 3 spot. But yeah, the Derek Jeter photos up here in the ballpark, as Michael Webb's going to come out for a quick meeting here with Mulcahy, that is mostly from when he was on a rehab assignment here. I believe same with Bernie Williams. Williams, Jeter, Matsui, they were all here during rehab assignments, you know, when you get hurt and you need to go down to the minor leagues for a couple of days to, well, rehab, to get back up to the big leagues. Now, there are some players that have legitimately played here for full minor league seasons, like Judge, Cervelli, Sanchez, those players that came up with the Yankees in the minor league system. But I mean, it's very interesting history, especially here in Central Jersey, you know, to kind of have that charm and to be kind of that middle point between New York and Philly. Like, when I went to Trenton Thunder games as a kid, I'm a Phillies fan, always have been. Since the day I was born, you know, I was singing High Hopes. But first pitch to Rogers is a strike there. Even then, I didn't care that the Thunder were affiliated with the Yankees. I really didn't. It was still good baseball, and it was local baseball. This stadium was always closer than Wilmington was. It was closer than Lehigh Valley and Reading, the two Phillies affiliates, as a ground ball into right field. Rogers with a base hit. Here comes Claret to the plate. The throw is behind the catcher, went right through him. 2 runs are going to score, and Holy Cross has jumped out to a 2-1 lead. And getting all the way to third is Luke Rogers. How about it? Luke Rogers with a single. This will be score. I don't know if you want to score that an E9 or an E2, but there's a single and an error in there somewhere. And here's Nessmeyer. Here's the first pitch. Didn't get it that time. So scoring on that play is Claret and Williams. Count is 2-0 here as Mulcahy tries to lock it down. Both teams scoring in the first. Mapleshade getting a run across on a wild pitch. Rogers with a 2-run single and E9. Ground ball. This could get Rogers home. They will fake towards home. An underhanded flip is in time. And a very effective play in the infield there as Mulcahy was successfully able to hold Rogers at bay. And there's out number 2 as Nessmeyer is retired.
Now batting number 33, Patrick Clip.
So here is Klepp now, the first baseman. Batting out of the left side. First pitch from Mulcahy is high. Infield corners on the grass. Shortstop and second base at full strength or at equal proportions, if you will. Umpire was giving a warning to the Holy Cross dugout about too many people standing outside of the dugout. It's only the player in the on-deck circle that is allowed to be there. And in that case, it's the second baseman, Evan Fox. Jams that one inside. That one is going to be caught by Mulcahy. Throw to the plate is in time. A beautiful spin and dance by Cole Mulcahy to get the out. And Rogers is retired at home, out number 2. That's just a beautiful play. Cannot get any better than that. And now you've got Fox batting with a runner on.
Evan Fox.
So Rogers retired at the plate. And now Fox will bat, the 6th batter for the Lancers. Mulcahy delivers high and away. 1-0. The schedule for this week on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Unfortunately, not going to have any more games in Trenton Thunder Stadium this week. It would be nice to be here, but we've got Woodstown and Gloucester on Thursday the 10th. That one missed, 2-0. Very tight zone here today behind the plate, but Seneca and Bishop Eustace on Friday in Olympic Conference action, and then a doubleheader on Saturday. The Cinnaminson Pirates and the Sterling Silver Knights at 11 a.m., and then the Pennsville Eagles and the Haddon Heights Garnets. Look at this, back pick, throw to first. Not in time. Just barely got in there. But either way, though, Pennsville and Haddon Heights, that's a 2:30 start, so we'll be there at 11 and 2:30. That Pennsville Heights game, a part of the Haddon Heights Veterans Tournament, or Veterans Invitational, if you will. Mulcahy again fires to first. Stanton applies the tag, not in time. Ocean City and Overbrook are also participating in that tournament. The catcher, Christian Colby, is on deck if the inning continues. 2-1 Holy Cross here in the bottom half of the first. Outside, 3-1. Yeah, that's going to be a bit jarring for Yankee fans to have one of your affiliates go from the Red Sox right to the Yankees. But there you have it. Like we said, they were an affiliate from 1995 to 2002. That will be ball 4. Klepp slid into second but didn't need to as Fox records the 3rd walk for Maple Shade. So both teams have recorded 3 walks in this game. And now we go back to the number 7 hitter, Christian Colby. Or Corbel, rather. Breaking ball catches the zone. Corbel 3 for 10 as a sophomore, 300 average, a .500 slugging percentage with 2 doubles, up and in, 1-1. Trenton Thunder Stadium will be hosting 2 college series, 3 games each in the Northeastern Conference. Wagner and Central Connecticut State in early May, and in late May, Wagner faces Delaware State. Oh, look at this. Throw over to first is in time. They got him to retire the side. Mulcahy catches Fox on the run, and the inning is over. Holy Cross, however, crosses 2 to the plate on a 2-run single and E9. Off the bat of Luke Rogers, we go to the top of the second inning, 2-1 Holy Cross. Dugout, it's only the player in the on-deck circle that is allowed to be there. And in that case, it's the second baseman, Evan Fox. Jams that one inside. That one is going to be caught by Mulcahy. Throw to the plate is in time. A beautiful spin and dance by Cole. having trouble with walks just because of what happens in terms of pitch control. You know, like we said, there's been 8 combined walks in this game so far. That one's outside. Like we said, that first inning, 1 run for Maple Shade, 2 for Holy Cross, went 32 minutes. How about that for your pace of play? Throw to first, not in time. Blum struck out looking his first time, ended up being Rogers' 100th as he went into this game with 99. If you're just joining us, Holy Cross leads 2-1. Rogers had a 2-run single. There's a ground ball. That will poke into right field for a base hit. Blum will tie the game. It'll hold Carey at second. Ball got kicked around out there in right, and Maple Shade has tied up the game at 2 apiece. And that will bring up Nick Stanton. So an RBI single by Chase Blum. Got that one through the infield. Brought home Dania. The pitch to Stanton. Misses low. Ball did skip away. Misses that time. Now both runners off to the races again. And it's 3-0. 2 runners in scoring position here. I mean, this is very, very much setting up to be a high offense game with both teams scoring in the first and then Maple Shade tying it right back up in the top of the second. Here's the 3-0. Hit out towards right field by Stanton. It's hooking towards the line. Did he make that catch? No, it was foul. A little bit obstructed there down the right field line. Count is now 3-1. With runners on second and third for Maple Shade, the Wildcats. This broadcast is brought to you by our good friends over at Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. If you like those odds, you can book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman at 614 Lambs Road. Inside, they must have had the count wrong on the scoreboard. Usually that doesn't happen at the professional level. I think the count is 3-1 now because he did have that foul ball. Now that's ball 4, bases loaded. Stanton walks for the second time today, and now here's Aaron Wells. I mean, it just seems like it's a little bit reciprocal here. Whatever's going to happen to Maple Shade is what's going to happen to Holy Cross, and there's probably going to be a decent amount of walks in this game. You're going to see some hits skip through in the infield, probably with the deep outfield and a little bit of wind. Not going to see a lot of home runs, but, you know, just at this point in the ball game, these guys just need to settle down and settle in. These are two teams of almost equal status, if you will. Like we said, Maple Shade and Holy Cross had very different records last year, but now they're starting to fall into the same boat. Maple Shade was 9-14, Holy Cross was 16-8, but after graduating a handful of good players there, and they lost Will Howell as a transfer to Paul Sixth, it definitely complicates the situation a little bit. You know, Holy Cross, they won the state title in 2016 back when Stephen Paolini was the head coach there. They had Dewey Oriente for 21 and 22, and there were some years where they struggled. And I think if my timeline's correct, Paolini left in 2021, then for 22 and 23 it was Dewey Oriente, and then Zach Ford took over, a former assistant at Sterling. This one is fouled back to our right. I am ready to break my hand for a foul ball. I'm ready to do it. I was going to say it was here, but it wasn't. It was in Wilmington when I caught a foul ball off the bat of Blake Perkins. 96 off the bat. One ball, one strike. I didn't catch it barehanded. It was in a glove. I'll tell you that. 1-2. Although catching a 96-mile-per-hour foul ball in a glove, that hurt. And I would imagine it would hurt for anybody out there. But here's the pitch. Foul tipped. Off the bat of Wells. Bases are loaded for Maple Shade in the top of the second. If you're just joining us, top of the second from the Trenton Thunder Ballpark, formerly Arm & Hammer Park, at the home of the Trenton Thunder in the MLB Draft League. A high school matchup between the Holy Cross Lancers and the Maple Shade Wildcats. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and Wells, the catcher, steps out. Maple Shade with a first-round loss last year in the South Jersey Group 1 bracket to Woodstown. 3-1 was the final in that game. 3-2. Woodstown made it all the way to the South Jersey Group 1 final. Lost to Gloucester on a walk-off sac fly for Gloucester's first sectional championship in 50 years. Last one was in 1974. 2-2, swing and a miss. Rogers makes him waver on the outside, and the inning is over. Maple Shade does level the score with an RBI single, but that's all. After 1.5 here in Trenton, 2-2.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
Bottom of the second inning. Some fans hanging out here in the Trenton Thunder Ballpark. As the count is 1-0. Outside again. 8 combined walks between these two teams after 1.5 innings. It's going to be 8-9-1, Devin Smith, Shane Riley, and Jeremiah Claret. 2-0 is a strike called. And I think with both pitchers having some control issues tonight, that tight zone could be contributing to the walks. There's a swing and a miss, 2-2. I mean, there's a difference between calling a zone by the letter of the law, but then also making it tighter than that. As time is called in the box by Smith. Final score in the BCSL, Bordentown over Pennsauken, 1-0. That game was at Bordentown. It was originally a Pennsauken game, but because of Bordentown's turf, they decided to move it to Bordentown. They had a little situation like with the Blue Jays and Phillies in 2010, where they played, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, he's behind me, Bordentown played as the away team at their home field, unless they switch it around entirely. Okay, I'm not sure, but that is something that happened last year. On opening day, in fact, Cinnaminson and Bordentown played a game on opening day. It was one of the few games in the state that was played because of heavy rain. Bordentown was the visiting team, but playing at their home field. That's happened a couple times. The two that I can remember, actually the three that I can remember, Blue Jays and Phillies in 2010 was because of the E7 conference in Toronto, with all of the world leaders up there, and they decided to move the game to Philly, but have the Phillies as the road team. Now, of course, that's very important when you have a conference with all of the leaders of the world in your stadium and staying in the stadium. You can't play a game there. I don't think the Prime Minister of England is going to be a very big Aaron Hill fan, but the 1-1 is a strike called. Not exactly fond of R.A. Dickey, the right-hander. Count is 1-2. But either way, that's a very important event. What wasn't an important event? Marlins and Mariners in 2011. Here's the pitch, 1-2. Misses high and in. Runner's going to skip down towards second base. Here comes the throw. It's in a little bit of time, and he got him. Nice play down at second base to retire the runner as the ball popped out of the glove of the catcher Wells, and they're able to make the play. It's going to try to reconnect. All right, that should be good. So strikeout number 1 for Mulcahy. That's going to skip in, but with the bases empty, no harm, no foul. Sorry about that for that little technical blip there. There are 2 outs, or at least there should be. They got the runner down at second. So, yeah, scoreboard's just wrong then. But, yeah, so Marlins and Mariners back in 2011. That's a little bit different than Toronto and Philly, where the game, again, this 3-game series was played in Seattle with the Marlins as the home team. Now, you'd think maybe another world leader event, maybe another conference that's incredibly important and forces the baseball game to be moved. No, it was a U2 concert over at Pro Player Stadium, now Hargan. And 3-2. Got him. Strike 3 looking, and the inning is over. After 2 frames here at Trenton, it's 2-2, Maple Shade and Holy Cross. Top of the 3rd here at Trenton Thunder Stadium. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. No, we already said that one. Garden State Pet Center. Keep your pet happy and healthy with the most organic food products available in South Jersey, along with toys, cages, accessories, and much, much more. You can visit 7 days a week at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon. Here's the 0-1 outside. One ball, one strike to Morales. Batting for the second time today. Laces that one back. But here on a chilly Monday night at Trenton Thunder Ballpark, they're selling concessions today. I think just one or two stands are open. I know the Chickies and Pete's isn't open down the right field line. But honestly, crab fries wouldn't be good for commentary. We kind of fry up my throat a little bit. 1-2. Ground ball. Sharp over the middle. Nessmeyer is there. Throw to first. Is away. That will go down the first base line. Morales has to turn around and get back to first. Since he turned the wrong way, Holy Cross could have tagged him out for advancing, or at least attempting to advance to second base. However, he does get back safely. So now here is Stratton. Stratton struck out swinging to end the first after 7 men came to the plate in the first for Maple Shade and scored a run. Morales on his horse down to second. It is not in time. He'll advance. As that ball didn't even get too far away from the catcher, Corbel, but they're able to hang on to it and avoid any further damage. 2-0. Corbel comes up with it. That will also skip in, and it's 3-0. Unfortunately, because of where looks like Maple Shade might be getting a bullpen arm or two out, but Holy Cross is going to do the same. And they're actually running across the infield, so I think maybe there's just one bullpen open down there, working with 2 mounds. That's number 23, Julian Gross, out there with Jaden Pithani, number 11. As the count is 3-0 to Connor Stratton. Just past the 7 o'clock hour here at Trenton Thunder Stadium. Michael Webb was pointing down the third base line because the Holy Cross players went out right behind the Maple Shade guys. I think they were confirming that they were going to be sharing the same bullpen. 3-0. Strike called. At my alma mater, Audubon, it's kind of in that same way where there's one shared bullpen down the third base line and both teams kind of warm up there. But if one team really doesn't want to warm up in that spot, they just kind of say whatever and they warm up down the right field line anyway, even with those full mounds. That's ball 4. Stratton reaches on a walk. So for some of these teams, especially those that are rivals of Audubon, they kind of have to make a educated choice. You know, do you warm up right next to the team that you're trying to beat, or do you create some space, do you create some separation, and then lose the benefit of having like a real bullpen instead you're throwing on flat grass? So you never know. Here's R.J. Bozarth. Bozarth smacks a ball left center field. It is caught in left, as that one nearly split the gap, but it does stay in the air long enough for out number 1. So here is Braden Donia as the number 9 hitter. These two teams, surprisingly, haven't played since 2022. As a bunt will go foul, and it's 0-1. Maple Shade won the contest 6-5 and then won their other matchup in 2022 by a score of 14-0. They played once in 2015, where Holy Cross won handily, another 6-5 matchup in 2013, and an 11-1 matchup in 2012. So Holy Cross has won 3 of the last 5, but take that with an extreme grain of salt because that's over a 13-year period. These two teams, despite being in the same conference, don't play that much. They're not in the same division. Holy Cross got added to the same division in the BCSL. That includes the top echelon of players and teams, Northern Burlington, Burlington Township, Cinnaminson, and Delran. That was just a 4-team division in the past couple of years. The count is 1 and 2. But with Holy Cross's success in 2024, they were added to that division. As there's a foul tip. Fouled back, still 1 and 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. And actually, just to clarify, Holy Cross was not added to the Liberty. They were added to the Patriot after being in the Freedom last year, which is Maple Shade's division. Hence why they're playing twice this year, again on April 24th. So that Liberty division is still 4 teams, NBC, Northern Burlington, Burlington Township, Delran, and Cinnaminson. But Holy Cross did change divisions. And now that they're joining forces with Maple Shade out there, Bordentown right now with a hefty lead in the division. They're 4-1. Ground ball out to short. Picked up. Throw to second is in time, and they get the fielder's choice there for out number 2 as Donia is retired on a 6-4 fielder's choice. Morales skips on down to third, and Stratton was the one who was retired. That brings us back to the top of the card for Cole Mulcahy. Yeah, I'm sure for these players right now, regardless of winning or losing, these players just sitting in the dugout in a professional dugout at a professional ballpark, you know, that's always a great experience. And not every team gets to experience that. I have always been the advocate for saying that there are a lot of fields that have lights in South Jersey. There's not that many, but there's enough of them to where it feels like pretty much every team, if they can get it in their scheduling, there's a fly ball, right field line. That is... Did he catch that? Yes, he did. Just obstructed from view. Cole Williams made the catch down the right field line, and the inning is over. Took a couple of seconds to figure out that he made the catch, but Maple Shade leaves 2 on. We go to the bottom of the third here from Trenton Thunder Ballpark. 2-2, tie game. Jeremiah Claret leads us off in the bottom of the third. How about that guy? He is prepared. He is ready to go. He's got the blanket over the legs, and he's got like a portable umbrella on the back of the seat. I mean, it's not currently raining, but I give him an A for effort. Oh, boy. Up here in the press box at Trenton Thunder Ballpark. Bordentown, Maple Shade 2, Holy Cross 2. Cole Mulcahy still working with bunt defense on for Claret. Look how far up the line Alex Morales is. He is way up there. 1, 2, and 3 for Holy Cross. Claret, Williams, and Rogers. Ooh, strike 2. Maybe trying to hit a curfew or something. It's 0 and 2 here to Claret with the right fielder Cole Williams on deck. Here's the 0-2, way outside that time. Inside 2 and 2. Two balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff man and center fielder Claret. That one is way high, 3 and 2. Like we said, both teams, they're obstructed from view, but there is bullpen action there. And the 3-2. Floated foul. That bat stays alive. That hit one of the seats over there. Three balls, 2 strikes. Claret hits this one out towards left center field. And sliding in and making the catch out there will be Voiro, the defense-only center field, and that will bring up Cole Williams. So Claret flies out. And Williams, who walked and came around to score as a part of a 2-run first inning, will now bat. This game reminding me a little bit of Shawnee and Cherry Hill West from last week. We're at the 1 hour, 11-minute mark, and we're in the bottom of the third inning. One ball, no strikes. Swing and a miss there by Williams, rather. Because that one game, I think, was 2 hours, 26 minutes, and it was a 1-0 Shawnee win back on April 1st. Was it 1st or 2nd? But like we said, we're an hour and 12 minutes in, and we're in the bottom of the third inning. Here's the 2-1. Misses low and away. Strike called, 3 and 2. Holy Cross will start a 3-game road trip tomorrow. They play at Northern Burlington on the 8th, away at Pennsauken on the 14th, and then away at Florence on the 16th. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 for Mulcahy, and Williams goes down for out number 2.
Now batting number 10, Luke Rogers.
The first of Holy Cross's 2 wins this year was versus George School of Pennsylvania in an in-season tournament at Doan Academy. A 9-2 final, and they beat Salem 16-2 in a tri-county crossover on April 2nd. I mean, you know, if you ask anybody, the start that Holy Cross had to the season was not an ideal one. A 14-0 loss to Delran and a 29-0 loss to Florence. Remember, that's with a mercy rule. That's 29 runs in 5 innings. And in fact, I don't know if I've ever seen a box score like that. 11 runs in the first and a 16-run second inning. That's almost impossible, in my opinion. And then they added on 2 more in the fourth, and that was the ball game. But for Holy Cross, they're hoping that late March game was just a fluke, and that today will be a little bit different. Strike called to the lefty Rogers, 2-2. But again, we see those early season bumps. We see those early season bumps in a lot of teams, especially with not that many scrimmages on the docket this year. Teams are still trying to figure out, who their best guys are, who they're going to be, starting every day, and who is going to be the X factors for their team. So early losses like that, don't really leave as much of a blemish as something in late May. Here's the 3-2 from Mulcahy. Ground ball, first base side, that trickles into right field for a base hit. And Luke Rogers gets aboard with a 2-out single out of the 3 spot. And now it sets the stage for Liam Nessmeyer looking to break the tie in the 3rd.
Now batting number 2, Liam Nessmeyer.
Tie ball game 2-2 in the bottom of the 3rd. Throw over to first is high. Stanton able to come down with it. Floated foul. Went right into the hands of the Holy Cross guy down there. Oh, that's funny. That's not Madaria. That's somebody down there that's picked up a perfect ricochet. Here's the 0-1. This one's hit out towards right by Nessmeyer. This could go over the head of Stratton. It does not, and the inning is over. Maple Shade forces one runner to be abandoned, and after 3 innings here at the Trenton Thunder Ballpark, it is Maple Shade and Holy Cross tied up at 2 apiece.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Top of the 4th inning, Preston Carey leads us off in the top half of the 4th inning as we're going to get underway with a special guest up here in the Trenton Thunder Ballpark booth. We've got TJ Madaria, the Holy Cross Athletic Director, joining us for the 4th inning. this was a big opportunity for not just us, but of course the players out here to be here. And with you being the AD at Holy Cross, I mean, what does this mean for you and the guys to be here at such a prestigious ballpark?
Well, Dan, first off, thanks obviously for having me. Thanks for doing your stream. You guys do a great job. I think this is the third sport I have you doing for me now.
We did football last year. We did a couple basketball games, and I'll be base at center field for Preston Carey, as Rogers gives up a single to start the fourth. But yeah, we did that Holy Cross Riverside football game, the Thursday night one, and then we did a whole bunch of football games basketball games in 2025. But yeah, no, I'm excited to get here for baseball because of Zach Ford, of course, his second year here. But no, absolutely, with what you were saying.
Yeah, and again, the main thing about doing something like tonight, first of all, great venue here at Trent Thunder Stadium. And again, I coach football. One of the best things about high school football is playing under the lights. So I think anytime we give our kids the opportunity to do that, there's really no other feeling like it. So just to be able to do that here on a Monday night for our kids, nothing really compares to it.
And especially because baseball doesn't have that many teams that play under the lights. I mean, Pittman does it a couple times at Alcyon. Maybe RV will pick up or Seneca will pick up a night game at Laurel Acres, every couple of years. But it's not that common that you see baseball teams playing at night, especially down here in South Jersey. The only teams that do it commonly would be Toms River South in the Shore Conference, and then Vineland does it a couple times per year. So, what did the planning of this event, what went into the planning of this event and getting you guys onto the field at such a great venue?
Yeah, so we started doing this 2 years ago. Our coach set it up with Trent Thunder. This year, Coach Ford really wanted to bring it back because we didn't do it his first year. We were happy that Maple Shade was able to accommodate it, and we're hoping moving forward here we're able to do this once per year.
Especially because there's a couple of South Jersey teams that are participating in events here. First of all, the Mercer County Tournament Finals are played here in late May, and also Delran and Hightstown, or Delran and, it's either Delran and Hightstown or it's Delran and Nottingham, that are playing here this Saturday. So it's a wonderful venue for these guys, and being able to be here on such a cold day, but such a wonderful ballpark to be at. I mean, this is a big thing for you guys because a lot of eyes are on this game. Not a lot of South Jersey games are being played today. The only other one that I know of that even happened was Bordentown and Pennsauken. So there's a lot of eyes on the game, and the grounds crew did a lot of work to get the game in for some high school teams. I mean, I honestly thought, oh, it's going to be pouring rain. I wonder if they're going to even just try to clean up the field. But no, they did an excellent job of getting that. So here's the ground ball at the third. It'll go foul off the bat of Blum. So the count is 3-2. But, TJ, this is such a big moment for Holy Cross Athletics. And with you being the athletic director here, what does this mean to you and being able to put these kids on such a big stage?
Like I said, I mean, it's all about the kids, especially at the high school level. And to be able to do something like this, like you said, the field looks great. We're one of the only teams to be able to play today. It's not a bad drive for either team, which I think is fantastic. A good showing from the parents tonight. So just all around a great night. And thank you to Trent Thunder's grounds crew because, again, the field looks fantastic.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than this. I mean, I know there's a couple high school games that are played per year at like Lakewood, but we don't really have like this kind of big venue in South Jersey. There's Rutgers Camden, of course, but that doesn't seat 6,000 people. And it's a very beautiful venue for Division III baseball. But this is professional baseball, MLB Draft League, former, of course, New York Yankees affiliate. And, of course, with Zach Ford saying he wants to come back here, this is a great opportunity for Holy Cross. Thank you very much, TJ, for coming up here because this is a big night for you guys, and I understand that with Holy Cross coming here, this is a big opportunity to showcase the kids and get everybody on the air. So thank you very much for joining us, and first of all, thank you for having us here along with the Trenton Thunder folks. Wouldn't be possible without great ADs to be able to have some flexibility for college freshmen and broadcasters. So appreciate it, TJ.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you having me.
Of course.
Yep.
0-2 is the count. That ball did skip away from Corbel. Sorry about that, folks. The mic clanged into the wall for a second there. 1-2 from Rogers, inside. Infield in versus Stanton, who has walked twice today. And the 2-2. Down and away again, 3-2. Here's the payoff. Swinging a foul tip. Holy Cross, again, a 3-game road trip this week and next. They only play Northern Burlington this week on Tuesday, as in tomorrow at 3:45, and then Pennsauken and Florence, 3:45 each on the road. Line drive, left center field, that's a base hit. That will bring Maple Shade to the lead. This is going to roll all the way to the wall. And in a ballpark like this, Stanton can run. He's going to third. The throw gets away. Webb puts up the stop sign, and an RBI triple for Nick Stanton gives Maple Shade a 3-2 lead in the top of the fourth. That was that kind of big boom that Maple Shade needed to get on the board, and not just to get on the board, my apologies, to take the lead, because that was very important. The opportunity to get Maple Shade a little bit of extra opportunities after a pretty wild first 2 innings, especially on the pitching side with all the walks that we've seen from both teams. Zach Ford is going to come out, and Luke Rogers' day will be done after 3 1/3. Ford calls for the right-hander, and we'll have a pitching change with 1 away here in the top of the 4th inning. It is Maple Shade 3, Holy Cross 2. Julian Gross is in, back behind the dish here at Trenton Thunder Ballpark. Gross relieves Luke Rogers after 3 1/3 innings. As the right-hander coming in to relieve Rogers after 3 1/3 innings of work. 3-2 Maple Shade. Nick Stanton brought the boom with an RBI triple to left center field. Went all the way to the wall out there. That's the thing with this kind of grass, that ball is going to roll. It's not like other fields where the grass hasn't been mowed in a couple weeks, and you're basically playing in a cornfield. Like, you know, in these, like, these are very well maintained, and as is expected for a professional ballpark. Count is 1-1. Maple Shade is threatening again after that triple by Stanton, with the batter Aaron Wells facing Julian Gross. Outside, 2-1. Gross, the 5'11", 160-pound senior, an 8.08 ERA in early action this year. Flown out towards right field. A nice catch by Williams. He's made a couple of those. Here's the throw to the plate, not in time, and a sacrifice fly extends the lead for the Wildcats to 4-2. Had four and a third innings this year, appeared in the loss to Delran and the loss to Doan Academy. Two outs. First pitch. Right down the pipe to Morales for a strike. 0-1. Hot shot foul. Almost knocked off Mike Webb's noggin. Morales spent 2023 at Maple Shade, hit over 300 and had a homer. Transferred to PVI for a season, didn't play varsity, came back to Maple Shade. Now batting 2 for 10. Had a homer and 2 hits versus Bordentown, where we were at. For our second game of the year, he has been hitless since. But with a 6.18 ERA in 5 2/3 innings. I would imagine that ERA is a little bit inflated from the Burlington Township game. Again, ended 22-10. And I'm gonna say something. This is gonna sound like I'm making it up. I'm not. So after the second inning, it was 3-2 Maple Shade. After the third, it was 5-2, and Burlington got a run back, and it was 8-3 at the bottom of the fourth. So how did the game end 22-10, you might ask? How about a 19-run sixth inning by Burlington Township in the top of the sixth? Either way, Gross gets out of it, and the side is retired. We go to the bottom of the fourth here from the Trenton Thunder Ballpark. It is still 4-2 Maple Shade. Bottom of the fourth inning, Maple Shade adds 2 more to take the lead thanks to an RBI triple by Stanton. Ground ball up the first base line, bit of a stumble. Mulcahy goes to cover the bag, and it's in time. Klepp is retired for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 4th.
Now batting number 24, Evan Fox.
So here's Fox. Klepp with a 3-1 ground out to start the inning. Fox reached on a walk in the bottom of the 1st inning, was left on. Swing and a miss. Fox misses on the fastball, 0-1. This broadcast is brought to you by the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, or Dog Pro Wrestling, New Jersey's premier pro wrestling organization with high-flying events and non-stop action throughout the Garden State. You can visit them at the South Jersey Geek Fest at Rowan University on Thursday, April 17th. For more information on future events and ticketing, visit dawgprowrestling.com. Here's a 1-1. Popped up. Got jammed on the end of the barrel there. Making the catch down the right field line will be the first baseman, Stanton, with some good range there. And that's out number 2. And this is what Cole Mulcahy needs. The first couple of innings were pretty rocky, and as we said, in the first 2 innings alone, there were 8 combined walks. But now both of these teams, as the sun sets and as things start to settle in here in Trenton, now they're finally starting to settle down. So I think both teams are playing pretty well here. You know, if you erase those first 2 innings, this has been a decently clean game. There's only been 1 error, and sometimes you have to look at the little things in this kind of game, especially between 2 teams that are under 500. Maple Shade under 500 last year. Holy Cross coming off of their best season in 5 or 6 years back in 2024. As a strike is called, 2-1 to the catcher, Corbel. Time called at the dish by Corbel. Don't forget our next broadcast, barring unless we pick up a Tuesday game out of thin air. We've got the Woodstown Wolverines and the Gloucester Lions at a South Jersey Group 1 rematch. South Jersey Group 1 Finals rematch. That one's up and in, 3-1. 4 o'clock start at Gloucester City High School on Thursday the 10th. Then we've got Seneca and Bishop Eustis on the 11th. And then a doubleheader on Saturday the 12th, Cinnaminson and Sterling at 11:30. And then at 2:30, Pennsville and Haddon Heights. A change has been made in our schedule for next Monday. We originally had Wildwood and Pennsville. That game has now been changed to Triton and Highland at 4 o'clock, rather 3:45 at Highland Regional. Up and in. Ball 4. So Mulcahy walks Corbel for the second time. And that brings up Devin Smith, the number 8 hitter. Maple Shade has had some action in the bullpen down the left field line for a little while now, but that hasn't come to fruition yet, as Mulcahy's still working strong through 3 2/3. Maple Shade, if you're just joining us, took the lead in the top of the 4th. An RBI triple by Nick Stanton. It was then followed by a sacrifice fly by the next batter, being Wells. 1-0 to the number 8 hitter, Devin Smith. Shane Riley, the left fielder, to follow. Throw back to first, not in time. This game was looking like it was going to be pretty high scoring, with both teams scoring in the first, but Holy Cross hasn't crossed the plate since that bottom half of the first inning. Here's the 1-0 to Smith. Another back pick behind. Doesn't go that time either. Two balls, no strikes. That one skipped into dirt. It gets behind the catcher. It'll go back down to second base, and with that deep backstop coming up with it being Wells. Three balls, no strikes. Mulcahy looking to work out of the jam with a runner on second base and 2 down, and now a 3-0 count to the number 8 hitter, Smith. Here's the 3-0. Outside, that's ball 4. And Smith now walks for the second straight by Mulcahy. And curious when Michael Webb is going to try to make that change, if any, in this inning, bringing up the left fielder Shane Riley. That was walk number 6 by Mulcahy. He walked 3 in the first, 1 in the second, that being the aforementioned Corbel. And then 2 more walks to Corbel and Smith, respectively, in the bottom of the 4th. First pitch is a strike, 0-1. As we said in the top of the 4th, Luke Rogers was relieved of his duties. Julian Gross came in to take over, got out of the inning. 0-1, working fast, swing and a miss by Riley, 0-2. If the inning continues, the center fielder Jeremiah Claret would be next out of the left side of the batter's box. 2 outs, 2 on, and Holy Cross down by 2. Mulcahy looks back, and the pitch. Upstairs. Count is 1-2. To the number 9 hitter, Riley. After that one was taken upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mulcahy delivers. Swing and a miss. He got him. After 2 walks in the bottom of the 4th inning, he gets out of it with a strikeout to the number 9 hitter, Riley. We go to the top of the 5th. Maple Shade looking to keep that momentum high, 4-2 after 4.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
Top of the 5th inning. Gross still working here in the top of the 5th. One and 0. Strike called, 1-1. Popped up. It will be caught on a backhanded catch at first base by Patrick Klepp. The hitter was Eddie Leahy, who comes in as a pinch hitter. And now R.J. Bozarth will hit. So he hits in the place of Stratton. I wouldn't be surprised, considering this is the only time these two teams will play at Trenton this year, as that one's popped up foul. I wouldn't be surprised if both teams, towards the end of the game, kind of emptied their benches. Not in a bad way, but I'm saying in a pinch hitter way, because not every time, especially for the juniors and seniors, are they going to be able to play in this ballpark. So we've seen that before when teams play at Rutgers Camden, but that's a little bit less sentimental. This is more so. Like we said, the Mercer County tournament finals are here. It would be nice for Camden County to do what they did for basketball and have like a full-fledged tournament. Obviously, neither of these teams are in Camden County, but there used to be a full-fledged BCSL conference tournament for baseball. The Cal still does it. The Camden County tournament last year was like 8 teams, and they weren't even the best teams in Camden County. There were some of the best, and there were teams that are pretty high up there, but like the Camden County tournament for basketball has like 30-some teams. There's a swing and a miss. Mastero. No, I'm not Mastero. I don't know what I'm talking about. Bozarth down on strikes. I saw the blue and yellow, and I'm like, oh, we're back at RCSJ. I don't know what I'm talking about, yeah. I think we were talking about him earlier, and it just slipped in my head. This is the part of the night where things get a little bit funky, but a pop-up down the first base line, going over. It's out of play. 0-1. So Leahy popped out to first. Bozarth struck out. Now here is Donia, batting in the 9 spot for the 3rd time today. Has a walk and a fielder's choice to his record. Here's the 0-1. Ball upstairs, apparently. 1-1. Strike called that time, 1-2. To the number 9 hitter, Donia. 2 up, 2 down for Gross in the top of the 5th, after Rogers' day was done after 3 1/3. Here's the 1-2. Got him looking, and Julian Gross strikes out the bottom half of the order there with 2 Ks back-to-back to squash the threat. Holy Cross will look to strike back in the bottom of the 5th. It's 4-2 Wildcats. top of the, bottom of the 5th inning here at Trenton Thunder Stadium. That one is roped out to right center field. Going back, it's off the bottom of the wall. A deep shot to right center by Jeremiah Claret, and a 2-bagger to start the bottom of the 5th. As that ball had some carry to it with no wind, just a flat-out barrel. And after that, might mark the end of the day in a ringing fashion for Cole Mulcahy, and it will. They're going to call for the right-hander. First, Webb will go to the mound, to the home plate umpire to make sure everybody's on the same page. But Mulcahy, after giving up a double to Claret, the third hit of the day, as the Holy Cross players wait out the little delay here with the pitching change, yelling out chicken jockey in the dugout. Well, I'll tell you, if that ball was hit off the bat any harder, would have created a fire with some flint and steel, as we'll have a pitching change here on DWB. Bottom of the 5th inning. After a leadoff double by Jeremiah Claret, Cole Williams will bat, and the new pitcher for Holy Cross is going to be the left-hander, number 2, Chad Blum. So we'll be back in just a moment here in a 4-2 ball game. Maple Shade on top. Bottom of the 5th inning, Chad Blum is the new pitcher. The left-hander facing Cole Williams, the right fielder. That one is going to skip away. It's going to go all the way to the backstop. It will ricochet, and playing a little game of chicken down at third base. And it's 1-0. So Claret, on the first pitch of Chad Blum's residency on the hill, reaches on a passed ball or on a wild pitch. Blum, the sophomore left-hander, a 9.69 ERA in 4 1/3 innings this year, 2 appearances. Pitched 3 innings versus Burlington Township in that loss on Wednesday. Here's the 1-0. That one's down. 2-0. Had a 7.54 ERA in 13 innings last year. Chad and Chase Blum, 2 twin brothers, both sophomores class of 27. Chase Blum is batting third at the DH spot today. Haven't seen him enter the field yet. Here's the 2-0. Outside. 3-0. Holy Cross's dugout is loving it now, as looking to get Blum on the ropes here in the bottom of the fifth. 3 balls and no strikes to the number 2 hitter, Cole Williams. Strike 1, got the green light that time. Cole Mulcahy exited the game after 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts, and 6 walks. This could be walk number 7 by the Wildcats staff. Instead, it's hit well down the left field line. It is hooking and foul. That went over the fence and left, but it was foul, and it went on to Route 29 out there. So he launched it, but that was a time where it was appropriate to say that the ball was launched. Especially in a park that is ultra pitcher friendly at the high school level. Here we go, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. A runner on third to ease the deficit for the Lancers. This one's popped up back behind the plate, and it hits the roof of the stadium. That looks like that was going to be headed our way, huh? But I'm just ready to lean over and just reel one in. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Chad Blum ready to go. 3-2. Misses inside, and Williams will reach, bringing up Rogers. Rogers has 2 singles today, a 2-run single to right, and a single in the bottom of the 3rd inning. So not only did he get the start on the hill, pretty good factor at the plate as well. Here's the first pitch. That one skips in. Williams will hold. One ball, no strikes. Outside, 2-0. Now a quick meeting here between catcher and pitcher with Wells and Chad Blum. Up here in Mercer County, 2 teams from the BCSL, the Maple Shade Wildcats and Holy Cross Lancers, in a 4-2 ball game in the bottom of the 5th. After a walk to Williams, the 7th allowed by a Maple Shade pitcher today. We now have the tying run at the dish, tying run at first, go-ahead run at the plate, nearing the 8 o'clock hour. Here's the pitch in a lefty-lefty matchup to Rogers. There's a strike called, 2-1. Rogers, a .356 career hitter. Had 19 RBIs, 26 for 62, with a .419 average as a sophomore, .581 slugging percentage. Runner goes, 2-1 is high. They do not get a throw down, and it's 3-1 with 2 runners in scoring position. Three balls, 1 strike. And a strike called. 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes. Blum kicks and delivers. Swing and a miss. He got him. Rogers down on strikes. That's out number 1. And for the first time today, their number 3 hitter goes back to the dugout without a hit.
Number 2, Liam Niestermeyer.
So here's Nessmeyer, one of the few Lancers committed to play at the next level in baseball. He's committed to Valley Forge, University of Valley Forge, a Division III program in Pennsylvania. First pitch, 2 runners in scoring position. Nessmeyer behind on it. 0-1. .42 degrees here at the Trenton Thunder Ballpark. Nessmeyer down in the count, 0-1, tying run at second base. Floated foul. Look out. Now very quickly 0-2. Like we said, we weren't sure if we were going to play this game today with heavy rain throughout the morning and afternoon. They pulled the tarp at around 1:15. Still loving those chicken jockey chants. The 19-year-old in me really appreciates them. 2 runners in scoring position. No balls, 2 strikes. Nessmeyer, the Valley Forge commit, set to face Chad Blum with the infield in. Strike 3 on the inside corner. Chad Blum putting himself in a great position. Back-to-back Ks as Rogers and Nessmeyer, a key part of the meat of the order, are both retired, and that brings up the first baseman Klepp in a lefty-lefty showdown with 2 outs. And that'll be very interesting here. It'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. Here's the first pitch from Blum, way outside. That's going to go to the backstop. Holy Cross is going to get within 1. No shovel, no throw. And coming in will be Claret. It's 4-3. Well, now that makes Klepp's job a little bit easier here. There's 2 outs, but now the tying run moves up to third. A run scores against your own volition. And again, a lefty-lefty matchup and a 1-0 count. After that ball got high and away. Again, here's the 1-0. Again high, 2-0. I think Blum, after that wild pitch, definitely got his world rocked a little bit. Just now trying to find a way to shut things down. Already allowed the 1 run. It was the first run that Holy Cross had scored since the first, since that 2-run single by Rogers. It's now the 2-0. Strike called. 2-1 there on the outside corner to Klepp. If the inning continues, the second baseman, Evan Fox, would be next, who has a walk and a pop-out to his name today. Two balls, 1 strike. Swing and a miss by Klepp. Took a big swing there, and it's 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. High, 3-2. Tying run on third. I mean, Blum and Klepp going at it here. After a wild pitch, scored a run at the top of the at-bat. Count is 3-2. Tying run is Williams at third. Claret already came in to score. There's a swing and a miss. Blum with 3 strikeouts in a row to get out of the inning. A run scores on a wild pitch, but otherwise Chad Blum comes in relief of Cole Mulcahy and survives without giving up the lead. We go to the top of the 6th inning here in the Trenton Thunder Ballpark, 4-3 Maple Shade. Here in the top of the 6th inning, this broadcast is brought to you by the Rowan College of South Jersey Roadrunners Athletic Department. Join me and the RCSJ Roadrunners in their quest for perennial national championship contention. They are the 2024-25 recipient of the the NJSIAA Cup Championship. And, of course, back-to-back national champions in baseball, not to mention region appearances in women's basketball and women's soccer. They do a lot around there over in Deptford Township, and you should join them. Become a prospective athlete of the Roadrunners by visiting their website at rcroadrunners.com and fill out their prospective athlete form, or follow them on all social media platforms at RC Roadrunners. Of course, Ben Nicholas, our dynamic operator of the cameras today, is also a student at Rowan College of South Jersey. Whether you're staying for 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years, it's an excellent opportunity to get yourself a little taste of higher education for a cheap price. 0-1 is the count. A leadoff hit by pitch to Mulcahy brings up Preston Carey. Count is 0-1. Doesn't catch that time, and it is 1-1. Mulcahy was 0 for 3 going into that at-bat with 2 flyouts and a ground out. Reaches base here in Trenton for the first time today. Right now, current time of game, 2 hours and 8 minutes in the top of the 6th inning. The longest we've had this year was Buna and Gateway on March 29th in the early part of the season. Buna scored 20 runs for the first time since 2022. And that game went 2 hours and 45 minutes over at the Westville Coliseum. The unofficially named Westville Coliseum. That place is just a little bit more rundown, I would say. I'm kidding. This is an excellent ballpark. When the idea came to us in February that there would be a game at Trenton Thunder Stadium, my first thought was that we weren't gonna get press box access, because who am I? You know, I'm a rando in South Jersey. I'm, just working here, as there's a base hit in the center field by Carey. Immediately running the third. The throw is dropped. Sliding in there safely is Mulcahy, and runners are on the corners here with nobody out. But when we had done some Holy Cross basketball in January, and then in late February we did a playoff game. We did 2 playoff games, one versus Holy Spirit and another versus Rutgers Prep. And the TJ Maderia and Zach Ford both had the idea. They said, hey, we're going to a game in Trenton Thunder in April. Do you want to go? And I said, yeah, but where are we going to set up? And he said, well, maybe we'll get press box access. We're waiting to hear back from that. And I'm thinking that I'm going to be sitting, Vincent is going to be sitting with the laptop, in his lap, and we're just going to be, the seats in front of us are just going to be, I was thinking, maybe there. We'd set up, behind the plate, but I'm very glad that we're in the press box here, because it is a little bit warmer. Of course, the windows are still open, so it is coming in, but with basically no wind and the sun already set, it's about as cold as it's going to get. Back pick to third, not in time. Good attempt there by Corbel, and a swing and a miss makes it 0-1. So Mulcahy with a single. Rather, Mulcahy with a hit by pitch. He gets to third after Carey's single, but yeah, I didn't even think of the possibility that, this game would be very easy to get into. We had some great conversations with Marissa Murphy, the production director here at the Trenton Thunder Ballpark. Big thanks to her for having us here and for giving us very, very useful information in the days and weeks leading up to the game. Same with, of course, general manager John Bodner. Like we said, Marissa Murphy and John Bodner, they're the reasons why we're here this afternoon and this evening for the BCSL matchup at the Trenton Thunder Stadium. That one's going to get away. Maple Shade's looking for an insurance run. They just got it. Wild pitch goes to the backstop, and Maple Shade scores their second run on a wild pitch, making it 5-3. So Holy Cross cut into the lead, and Mulcahy comes around to immediately undo it. And it's a 1-1 count to Chase Blum, the DH. All right, 1-2 is the count. My bad. 1-2. Because that passed ball ended up being called a strike. This one's popped up foul. hit the back of a chair. There's like two kids that are just running around trying to get the ball. The kid in the black beanie caught it that time. 1-2. That one goes away. It's now 2-2. Oh, it was so fun being in like minor league ballparks in like 2019, 2018 during like a random summer midweek night and just like maybe 1,000 people at most in the stadium and just hanging out and picking up like 5-6 foul balls a game. I think it was one time I remember I was at Tampa. I was at George Steinbrenner Field. COVID restrictions were still going on. It's right across the street from Raymond James Stadium. But the count is 3-2. We'll pick up this story at the end of this at-bat with the infield in. Swing and a miss. Blum goes down on strikes. He's now 1 for 4 and has struck out 3 times today. Out number 1, bringing up Nick Stanton, who had the RBI triple in the top half of the 4th. But yeah, we were at Tampa. It was May of 2021, and you know, I just remember in that game specifically, it wasn't the Yankees, it was the Tampa Tarpons. The Yankees affiliate, they were playing the Lakeland Flying Tigers. And what I remember about that game was that it was so empty, and it only filled about half of the stadium anyway because of COVID restrictions, but there may have been less than 100 people in that stadium. I am not exaggerating when I am saying that there were probably more people in the stadium tonight than there were at the Tampa Tarpons Stadium in May 2021. And I remember I came home, we got this like plastic bag from the team store, and I came into our hotel room and I just dumped the bag. I got a t-shirt, a hat, and 6 foul balls. I just remember it just like out on the bed, they're all scuffed, they're all dirty, and I'm just like, yeah, I did that. And I remember somebody telling me, yeah, it wasn't hard. It's a ground ball foul. Now, in this case, there's not that many high school game balls to go around, so you have to return the baseballs to the field when you catch one. But yeah, I've only caught 1 or 2 at a major league game. One at Wrigley Field and one at Truist. Off of what's that? Yeah, I did. I made a good catch in my. It might have been Michael Harris that hit it for Atlanta, and then for the Cubs back in 2017, it was Matt Caesar. Popped up, left field straight away. This could bring home the insurance run. Didn't have that great of a jump on it. Ended up backpedaling, and the throw is cut off. Sacrifice fly by Stanton. His second RBI makes it 6-3 Maple Shade. So Stanton, after reaching base 3 times in his 4th plate appearance, drives home a run on a sacrifice fly. And here's Aaron Wells. Wells, a walk, a strikeout, and a sac fly. Inside. Runs him in there, and it's 1-0. First 3 for Holy Cross in the bottom of the 6th inning will be 6, 7, and 8. Fox, Corbel, and Smith. Barring any changes on the offensive lineup. It's 2-0. If you're just joining us, Maple Shade scored a run in the top of the 1st on a wild pitch. Holy Cross returned the favor with 2. That one's again hit foul. That one was a good bounce there, 2-1. Luke Rogers' 2-run single gave the Lancers the lead. It was 2-1, and then Maple Shade tied it back up in the top of the 2nd. Then a little bit of a stagnant 3rd. They took the lead. The Wildcats took the lead on an RBI triple by Nick Stanton, and then the aforementioned sacrifice fly by Wells made it 4-2. In the bottom of the 5th, Lancers got a run back. That one's going to hit Wells. Second hit by pitch this inning allowed by Gross. But now it'll be Alex Morales, the power hitting infielder, taking over the hot corner today for the Wildcats.
Now batting number 40, Alex Morales.
Maple Shade runners are going to switch here. Coming in is going to be Mike Smith to pinch run. With 2 outs would be the courtesy runner for Wells. Three and one. Rather, no, excuse me. They still had 3-1 on the scoreboard. There's a strike called. Yeah, it's 0-1. Morales, the batter. Don't worry about it. A hit by pitch, a single, and a strikeout to his name today. 2 outs and the 0-1. Inside that time, 1-1. So after Wells was hit by the pitch, that brings just the runner on first. And the 1-1. Swinging a foul tip. Hit off the bat of Morales and then hit off the glove of Corbel, and the count is 1-2. As we said, Morales, the former transfer out of PVI, in his second stint with Maple Shade, hit over 300 and a homer back in 2023 for Michael Webb and the Wildcats, who went 21-4 back in 2021 in the BCSL. Finished 9-14 last season. 1-2. High. 2-2. Maple Shade 6, Holy Cross 3, top of the 6th inning here from the Trenton Thunder Ballpark. I'm joined by Vincent Vogt and Ben Nicholas on our crew today for this monumental game, not just for these programs, but for ourselves as a production company. 2-2. That's high at the letters, 3-2. And after speaking with John Bodner, I can say without revealing any details that this will not be our last time at the Trenton Thunder Ballpark. So I'm very excited for that. It's so much fun being here. Regardless, this could be a 15-0 game and I'd still be having fun. That's ball 4. Runner went down to second. he's safe, but it doesn't matter because it's a walk. So bases are loaded now. Here's Stratton. Leahy was a pinch hitter earlier, but now Stratton re-enters. Ball 1. R.J. Bozarth would be next if the inning continues. Runners on first and second. This is floated foul again. At least the good news for most of these guys is that most of the foul balls are staying in the ballpark. I mean, how many times have we seen foul balls in high school games lost to the woods, lost to the wilderness? A lot of fields, those baseballs are easy to collect, but if this one goes over the roof of the stadium, I don't think anybody's going to chase it. 2-1 is chopped foul by Stratton, the right fielder. Stratton was the starter in our second game of the season in Maple Shade Bordentown. A game that Maple Shade lost 3-2 on a walk-off by Luke Guire, the commit to Delaware. The count is 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 2 on. And 2 runs across in the top of the 6th. Gross kicks and delivers from the stretch. Again, popped up. This is going to trail out of play. Some heavy ricochets on those foul balls. It's 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the pitch. Strike 3, right down the middle. A little bit trailing to the outside corner, but Gross gets the strikeout to retire the side. His second of the inning. Maple Shade crosses 2 on a wild pitch and a sacrifice fly. Going to the bottom of the 6th, Holy Cross looking to defend the Trenton Thunder Ballpark turf with a couple of runs of their own. It's 6-3 going to the bottom of the 6th. dugout. It's only the
So this
player in
is
the on-deck
a
circle that is allowed
flashback.
to
This
be
is
there.
from June of 2018 at the Eastern
And in
League
that case,
All-Star
it's the second
game
baseman Evan Fox.
where
Jams that one inside.
what's
That
it
one is
called?
going to be caught by Mulcahy. Had to shut off the video sound there.
that is from June 2018 at the Eastern League All-Star game. My friend Hunter is on the right side in the Yankees jersey, or Yankees shirt, and the Trenton Thunder cap, and then I am there on the left in my gray Phillies shirt. But yeah, my time with this ballpark goes back a long way. Ground ball out towards second base, picked up, and covering first is Stratton. That should be noted, Stratton is the new pitcher. That's why he was covering the bag. He wasn't covering it from right field. Stratton comes in for the left-hander Chad Blum, as he had one inning of work, gave up one run, and Fox is retired on a 3-1 ground out. Corbel swings and misses, 0-1. It'll be Corbel and then Smith with one away in the bottom of the sixth inning as Fox attacked early there in the at-bat. Here's the 0-1. Floated out towards right. This one will be headed into the family fun zone. Yeah, that one's just going to stay up there on the netting. 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes for the reliever Stratton. And this might be their shutdown guy. I mean, we saw how well he did versus Bordentown and how well he shut him down, the Scotties, back on March 25th. There's the 1-2. Strike 3. Stratton picks up the K, and there's out number 2. As now that will bring up Devin Smith, who's 0 for 1, a strikeout and a walk to his record today.
Now batting number 34, Devin Smith.
So here's Devin Smith. Strike called. 0-1. Swing and a miss that time. Again, 0-2. I think the deal is with Maple Shade here, they don't want to let this game drag on. They just want to get this guy in here and shut down the Lancers. And he is 4 outs away from doing it. I would imagine with how low his pitch count has been, I mean, a quick strikeout preceded by a 2-pitch at-bat with Fox might be coming out for the 7th. He got him. Back-to-back Ks for Connor Stratton and Maple Shade. Looks like they are pretty firmly in the driver's seat. They have some time to add on insurance in the top of the 7th. It is Maple Shade 6, Holy Cross 3 after 6 here in Trenton. here at the Trenton Thunder Ballpark. First pitch to the Wildcats is outside.
Now batting number 20, Mike Smith.
Mike Smith is the batter. He takes over for R.J. Bozarth, who was originally in the position. Smith swings and misses. Gross is still the pitcher. So both teams with 5 combined pitchers, 3 for Maple Shade. Cole Mulcahy went 4, Chad Blum went 1. And now it's Connor Stratton in the 6th and possibly the 7th. 2 balls, 1 strike. Gross delivers. Fly ball straight away center field. We take it in by Jeremiah Claret. Out number 1.
Now batting number 8, Luke Wilson.
Luke Wilson will bat for Donia. Maple Shade with a win would improve to 2-3 on the young season. Maple Shade's only win to this point was a win over 0-4 Pennsauken, or now 0-4 Pennsauken. Now actually 0-5 because they lost to Bordentown today, 1-0. First pitch, fouled back. Look out. That was about 3 rows away. If it had bounced off of one of those seats, it would have been right in our lap. And it's 0-1. I'm sure it happens more often here than at major league stadiums just because of how high up those ballparks are. Like if you've ever seen PNC Park in Pittsburgh, the radio and TV booths are basically like sky high. Base hit, center field. As the number 9 hitter, Luke Wilson, comes off the bench and gets a hit. And there's going to be another hitter. See, this is what I thought would happen. It's going to be Braden Morgano. So Morgano will hit for Mulcahy, and like I said, this is what I wasn't surprised at was happening. The game it's not decided, but it's in a position where Maple Shade can put in some of their reserves to make sure that everybody at least gets either an at-bat or an inning in the field and everything like that. I am jealous of the people who get to play in like the Carpenter Cup and stuff like that. It's at Citizens Bank Park. Or even in the Carpenter Cup in general at those other fields at FDR Park and Dick Allen Field. Strike called, 0-1. 0-1 to Morgano. Pinch hitting for Mulcahy. Grounds it foul down the third base line. Maple Shade 6. Holy Cross 3. They've scored 4 runs in the past 3 innings, and they have a runner on with 1 down. 2 runs came across in the top of the 4th on an RBI triple by Nick Stanton and a subsequent sacrifice fly by Aaron Wells. They added 2 more in the top of the 6th on a wild pitch, and then another sacrifice fly by Stanton. Fouled back off the foot, and it's 0-2. Pick off the first, not in time. Ground ball, shortstop, picked up for 1, on to first. No, it's in time, double play. Oh boy, that's a rough one, and the inning is over. Oh, That's unfortunate. A 6-4-3 double play. Michael Webb by no means happy about it. He's coming out to I might even argue the call, I'm not sure, but looks like he's just going to go out and get substitutions in there. They go around the horn and the inning is over. Last chance for Holy Cross to add on some runs. They trail 6-3 in the bottom of the 7th. There's a good freeze frame right there. A double play in the infield. Yeah, I don't know if you can argue that one, as it's the bottom of the 7th inning. Lined foul. Count is 1-1 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The hitter is Shane Riley, 9-1-2 with Claret on deck. Stratton looking to finish the job. That one hits the roof, and it's 1-2. Riley 0 for 2. 2 strikeouts to his name today. Claret had a ringing double in the 4th that forced out Cole Mulcahy's day. Stratton kicks and delivers. Got him looking out number 1, and Maple Shade make that 2 outs to go here in their Trenton Thunder feature, that is. Again, our next broadcast scheduled for Thursday. Woodstown and Gloucester on Thursday. Seneca and Bishop Eustis on Friday. Cinnaminson and Sterling to be followed by, Pennsville and Haddon Heights on Saturday in the doubleheader. Strike called 1-1. Stratton this year, the senior right-hander, an 0.7 ERA, 19 strikeouts in 10 innings. That one's outside. 2-1. Has appeared in 2 games, had 5 strikeouts versus Bordentown, had 14 in a 7-inning complete game versus Pennsauken, 1-0. And a 9-inning final in that game as well. Swing and a miss, 2-2. I mean, really unfortunate for Pennsauken, their start to the season. They've lost all 5 of their games, but have had their last 3 be 1-run games. 1-0 to Maple Shade, 4-3 to Delran, and 1-0 to Bordentown today. Swing and a miss. Stratton picks up his 20th and 21st strikeouts of his senior year, and Claret is down on strikes for out number 2. This will bring up potentially the last out. Cole Williams, the right fielder, has 2 walks and a strikeout. Maple Shade would improve to 2-3. They have back-to-back road games with Delran and Palmyra this week, and then Florence on the 14th. Stratton kicks and delivers the first pitch. Strike called. 0-1. For Holy Cross, they would fall to 2-5 in their 7th game of the year, and will play Northern Burlington, Pennsauken, and Florence in 3 road games on a row. They'll play tomorrow at 3:45, so a quick turnaround with the travel day from Trenton. The count is 1-1 to Williams. No hits for him. Upstairs, 2-1. I mean, I am very surprised, maybe not surprised, but impressed with how this game has turned out after this was really looking like it had the makings of a barn burner. There were 8 walks in the first 2 innings, but then both of these teams, without reaching to their bullpen early, settled down. Only 1 error has been made in the game, and it was by Maple Shade. Look out! This one's right off the back of the roof. Oh, my goodness. Made me jump out of my... Oh, man. 2-2. Yeah, it felt like 3 rows in front of us. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Connor Stratton going to go for it. Looking for a 6-out save here in the mother of all ballparks here in Jersey, Trenton Thunder Stadium. He got him! And that's the ball game. Connor Stratton shuts the door, and in a 6-out save, takes care of business in a 2-hour and 40-minute thriller, 6-3, Maple Shade over Holy Cross. They take care of it. Connor Stratton with the save. The win goes to Cole Mulcahy. And then the loss will be charged to Luke Rogers. Wow. I mean, I'm not even saying wow because of the game. I'm saying wow because of what we were able to accomplish today. Really proud of our crew running our first multicam setup. This was a good game overall, but obviously can't complain about the product on the field and can't complain about the product in the booth as well. Player of the game presented by presented by Dog Pro Wrestling will be Nick Stanton. Had 2 RBIs in the game and was a key part in getting Maple Shade the lead as he had a go-ahead triple in the top of the 4th inning and was able to drive home the go-ahead run that Maple Shade would not relinquish. We are not going to do a post-game interview today. Instead, we are going to shut things down for the night, and we will see you all on Thursday between the Woodstown Wolverines and the Gloucester Lions. From our entire crew here at Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel and Caleb Lane, along with Liam Nolan, my producer, Vincent Vogt, my camera operator, Ben Nicholas. I'm Dan Wilkins. From the Trenton Thunder Ballpark, the biggest stadium yet that we've covered with 6,400 as your capacity. A 2-hour, 40-minute ball game between the Maple Shade Wildcats and Holy Cross Lancers ends in a 6-3 final. We'll see you all on Thursday. Have a good one, folks.